Hey, butter, swing, butter.
See?
Yeah, it wasn't as good as theirs though.
Well, no.
No.
Because they did
Cut
the first
just
try.
the perfect one and put that as the intro.
Hello.
Okay, this is really high up.
Yeah, you turned it up. You moved it up.
It doesn't move up properly. It doesn't move as low as
Hello.
in front of us.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. I reckon it is.
I don't know. Hello.
That looks
Yeah, there we go. That looks like normal. Welcome to Press Pause.
Hello.
We are GRZLY, reporting live. What are you doing? Where's he
That's
going? Oh, okay, he's doing some star jumps. Is he gonna be? He's doing a spin. He's coming back. Is his energy high?
I feel a bit wobbly.
Okay, he may pass out, but the energy's higher. Today, what's new today? Oh, today we filmed a movie.
Ooh. My movie for my class.
And I filmed a documentary.
Of my movie for my class.
We worked with some challenging actors today.
Yeah, one.
Yeah, actually.
Challenging
We worked for
actor.
one actor.
And it's okay
Who
because
was
he doesn't
wonderful.
listen to our thing, so it's fine. Can tell him he's a dick and it won't matter.
That's a bit
No, I'm
far.
kidding. It is a bit far. He was
we
good. He was
worked with
good.
one actor who was a dream to work with, did everything he was asked to do, was all for it.
You didn't like it?
Yeah, it gave me a tummy ache, but you know what? I'm thirsty. And we worked with another actor who was, frankly, a bit sassy. No, I already went through the dream.
Oh, I was not listening to you.
And another actor who was a bit sassy. But you
Just a
know,
bit.
that's okay. To be fair, you know, made my job a bit more fun.
True. He was very sassy.
I filmed a documentary all about the drama on set
On set, there is a lot of drama on set.
of Evil Birdman 2.
That's it.
That apparently can't be named Evil Birdman 2 because that's not professional.
It's not really though. Imagine I gave it in and tried to
No,
get a
it's good.
grade for something called Evil Birdman 2.
You know, he doesn't have to know it's called Evil Birdman 2. We can.
I have to name. Oh no, well, we can call it Evil Birdman 2.
Can it be called Evil Birdman 2 when we release it on GRZLY?
Yeah.
Please.
Watch out for in 7 months because I don't
Jesus.
think I can upload it until after I get my grade.
Yeah, watch out in 7 months. You hear it now. You're gonna get the GRZLY produced movie,
And the
Evil Birdman 2.
GRZLY produced documentary.
Oh, that'll be coming out sooner.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
You're gonna put ribbons in your hair.
Yeah.
You're gonna have 2 pigtails
Ooh.
with tied with ribbons.
Yeah.
That's cute. Okay, cool.
Sorry, carry on.
Okay, should we start?
Yeah.
Okay, today we watched Ferris Bueller. Well,
We did.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Actually, wait. Sorry.
I have
Sorry,
some
we
notes.
didn't introduce ourselves.
Yes, I did.
I didn't say my name.
Oh, no, we didn't do that. I did the GRZLY breast pause, blah, blah.
Did you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. You weren't paying attention. You were concerned about whether you were sat far forward enough.
I'm Kai.
I'm Ted. This movie came out in 1986.
It did.
It was directed by John Hughes.
I didn't know that.
It stars Matthew, I think, Broderick? No. Yeah.
I don't even know.
Check on that, but I'm pretty sure it's Matthew Broderick. And then other people, obviously, I think the
Yeah, it is.
yeah. Then what's the
And some
principal
other
called?
people.
Yeah. Other people too. Obviously, the girl from Dirty Dancing. Although this is pre-Dirty Dancing, which surprised me because Dirty Dancing is, well,
I want to re-review.
worse. What?
Ferris Bueller.
1986.
We did that bit.
Yeah, I have barely anything in characters today, but I have loads in.
Don't really.
Do you have any starting points, just like things you want to say before we get into the nitty gritty? No.
I have a character I want to say something to. As if he was here.
Yeah.
No. Guys, you're gonna be the character. Okay. Mr. Rooney. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the actual fuck is wrong with you? You have issues. This man did not do anything to you. You literally... Oh my god.
You know what I want to say? Mr. Rooney, this is Chicago Chief of Police. You are under arrest for suspicions of being actually just like I don't know how to word it, but like a freak.
A freak.
A big freakster.
freakster.
Big freakazoid.
Freakazoid. That's the best.
You'd be locked up, baby.
Baby. He does need to be locked up.
I think there's something that you need to say about how... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. This is purely a guess based on...
Tell me.
I feel like you have something you need to say about Ferris.
What do I need to say about Ferris? What do I need to say about Ferris?
Just like your opinions about Ferris.
He's a cool guy.
Am I wrong?
I don't know what you're implying, Ted.
That you fancy Ferris?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just you looked at me a few times in the movie, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I do a little bit.
I'm not saying I don't see that he's an attractive guy, because I do. But Sloane's right there. You know? So,
Yeah, but we know how I am.
and we know how I am.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
But I also think I like Cameron a bit as well, too.
In
A lot,
looks.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's alright. His face matches the
Probably more
shape.
like character.
I
for
love
Cameron.
Cameron's character so much.
And then-
I think for me, Ferris is his personality.
His chaos is quite
Yeah.
funny.
But that's just because you could project that same personality onto a female. So,
That's true.
you know, I don't know. I think there's moments, but like that scene with his parents just really.
That put me off. Anything
puts
with
you
his
off.
parents.
And of course, Jeannie, she's gorgeous too.
Yeah.
And an icon. You know, when I was a kid, I remember really hating Jeannie. And then when I rewatch it, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with Jeannie.
What did she do?
Well, like, obviously she's mad at him for like half the movie and deciding to
Well, to be fair, she has to go to
rue the
school.
day and shit. But like,
And he's
then,
like-
yeah.
So smart that he got out of school
And
and
then when
did
you
all this
hear
shit.
the way that her parents talk about her,
Yeah, that is just terrible.
don't get me wrong. Like, okay, she had to get picked up from the fucking police department. But I
Doing
think if
what?
I told my parents that somebody broke into the house, they'd be, and then I got arrested for wasting police time. They'd believe me that someone broke into the house.
Someone did break into the house.
Literally, like, I'd really like to think they'd believe me. And
So it's ridiculous.
nobody
Stop
believes.
that. It's making really loud noises.
Sorry. Nobody believes Jeannie
It's ridiculous.
that someone broke into the house, and that's fucked up. We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit though.
Yeah, we are. Okay.
I wrote Cameron dash me exclamation mark exclamation mark.
You said in the film.
Yeah.
A few times.
Oh, also wait, one more thing is that Jeannie does end up being the savior of the movie, so that is another reason why I don't know
Real.
why I held like so much against her.
She becomes like amazing.
I know.
Well, she's amazing all throughout.
But
But you get to the end, you're like, yes.
One thing I'd like to say about Ed Rooney, the one positive thing I'll say about Ed Rooney, he was ahead of his time because he has bleached eyebrows. Actually, he may just be ginger, but he has bleached eyebrows.
That's really funny.
He knew the fashion trends in 1986. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have in characters.
Okay, I didn't really say anything about characters.
Okay.
Just other
This
than the fact
time,
that I
instead of
think
having
they're
scenes
a good
and-
lot.
But the thing about this is you can't talk about the characters without talking about the movie.
That's true. Let's just go on
You
to
know?
lines.
What can I say about Cameron other than the fact he's me without getting into Cameron's plot?
I know we just watched it, but I don't even know how or when or where any of these lines
I
are
probably
from.
will. I like the bit in the first scene when Ferris is like trying to prove he's sick and he goes like, "Papa."
That was my stomach. My stomach makes noises, okay?
But also,
Don't judge me!
Before he does that, he's like staring at the camera. Big. He has the widest eyes I've ever seen.
He does.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Jeannie, I can't see that far."
Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
Because he's like pretending that he can't tell it's Jeannie, even
Yeah,
though he's
true.
like right next to her.
Yeah, bro.
I can't see.
Also,
that
I
far.
said a me. But
Does
I
Ferris
don't,
say it?
Yeah.
Probably when he's in bed being sick, he probably does it.
but I don't think
But
he says
I-
it like that, but
I like
don't
also
remember.
he goes, "You have your health. Be thankful," to Jeannie. That would piss me off. If my siblings were pretending to be ill, like, good on them. I would not snitch. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if they were like, "You have your health. Be thankful." No, game over.
True.
Game over. I'd be furious.
Yeah, true.
And then also, like,
I love Ferris's like, if you don't stop and look around in a while, you're gonna miss it, or whatever he says.
yeah.
Along the lines of that.
I have that.
Such
It
a vibe.
says, life moves pretty fast. I need to stop doing an accent.
Life moves pretty
Because
fast.
I have one generic American accent I do for every single American character, and
know.
none of them ever sound like it.
No.
Ever. And I
It's
just need to
nice.
stop doing it. If someone says something a really certain way, then I can mimic it. He goes like, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around every once in a while, you might miss it. But he says it all like confident. Because he's like walking around in his bathrobe.
Yeah, I know.
Strutting. Bathrobe. Dressing
Dressing
gown.
gown.
Dressing gown.
Bathrobe.
Bathrobe. I also like...
A person should not believe in an ism. They should believe in themselves.
And just before that, he's like, I'm not European. I don't plan on being European.
Yeah.
Which is so funny. Because, yeah, I didn't think he did, mate. And then he's like, they could be fascists. Wouldn't change the fact I don't own a car. And then he says, like, I could be a walrus. But I'd still have to get rides off of people. Like, he's so caught up on the car.
I know.
And then he's like, oh, ask for a car, you get a computer. Like, he brings it up so many times. I'm like, dude,
Calm
we know
yourself.
you can't get a car. Your sister
You were
has a
gonna
car.
get a car as well. Rough.
Give it to your sister. But to be fair, she's older.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the bit when Cameron goes, I'm dying. Or whatever he said, but he does not say it like that.
Well, kind of like that.
Kind of. Not really.
I don't think Cameron ever has that much expression in his voice
Yeah.
as poor Cameron. One thing I love is that Cameron's bed has like,
He does elongate the G.
yeah, his
But-
bed has like a table around it. It's like it's really like small. It's like a single bed that's
Yeah.
really like thin, and it has drop off sides and is in the middle of a room, which is terrifying. Who has a single bed with
Does
no?
his bedroom have big glass windows like the rest of his house?
Yeah, I think it did.
That's
I'm not
why.
certain. It might
Why?
have just been like.
Bed right next to the fucking windows. Imagine if you fell out. Smashed through the fucking windows.
I guess, but the problem is, right? It's in the middle of the room, right? So no walls in any direction.
Yeah.
It needs to be against a. If you have a bed and it doesn't have any sides to it, it needs to be against a wall, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's high off the floor. It has no walls except the table.
And it's a single. You'd roll off that.
And it's a single.
I
Yeah,
would.
yours is a double. That's the thing,
Yeah.
right? You'd roll off it and straight onto the ground. There's just one table on one side.
Yeah.
But I like the L-shaped table that goes behind it. Like, I would keep so much on that. That's so cool.
That's true.
I have my books that I don't read.
For real.
And I'd get a cool alarm clock for it.
My laptop on there.
Yeah,
Mouse.
that'd be sick.
Mouse pad. Wire for my charger. Pencil. Pop. Pencil pop. Cup.
Kettle,
Yeah, toaster.
toaster,
Air fryer.
air fryer.
Big double door fridge.
I was thinking one of them little monster fridges.
Oh, I do like the little fridges.
Yeah. Right? I think that'd be sick.
Dildo.
Okay, wow, why did you have to take it there, Kai? This almost was a clean episode. This is a clean movie. We could have had a clean episode.
I couldn't do it.
Wow, that was Kai, guys. I wouldn't say something like that. I don't think this is as entertaining as it is in our brains.
Balloons.
I like the bit where, so the teacher's like, Bueller.
That whole thing.
Bueller. And
Where
the
it's
girl's
just
like,
repeating.
I heard from my boyfriend's, girlfriend's, sisters, brothers, nephews, friends.
Is that the
cousin.
one that's like the same teacher and the same like scene where they're all going like it's all names that begin with like ad?
Because, right, they have to get to Bueller, but he has to read the register first. And obviously, like, Bueller starts with a B,
Yeah.
so he just reads loads of A names.
It's
But then there
They're,
could
like,
have been
all
more
the beginners-
B's that start before
there's-
him, because BU
yeah.
is quite late in the alphabet.
There's so many ones that begin with A, D.
I feel like not that many surnames start with an A. Am I crazy? I feel like way more start with a B than an A.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know.
Baker. Brixton.
No way.
Broomfield.
Broomfield.
Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
Something I would like to talk about. Character study of Cameron quick.
Okay.
Right.
That now.
Like, in 1980s, they obviously had to make a big joke of it. But Cameron is messed up.
Yeah.
Cameron doesn't go to school, even though it's his graduating year, and no one cares that Cameron's not in school.
They just care that
They
Ferris
care
isn't.
Ferris isn't in school. They don't care that Cameron's not in school. No one's questioning where Cameron is, even though clearly Ferris has been friends with Cameron for a really long time. And they seem like they go to the same school because he says he's scared the head teacher's going to understand his voice.
Yeah.
Unless he moved schools, I guess. And he's worried that he'll remember it from the past. But it seems like they go to the same school.
I would have guessed so.
No one's in Cameron's house. And
They live close enough together that
they must be the same school.
They must
Unless
be.
Cameron moved to like a private school or some shit. But it doesn't sound like his dad would do that. Yeah.
Don't really know, but I don't reckon they go to different schools, to be honest.
I'm just sad for Cameron.
Real.
He deserves to flourish and live a fun life and know what he wants to do and do it.
Sure.
And,
It's kind of sad that he doesn't,
and see, the thing is, right, on the one hand, I'm like, I understand that the purpose of the movie, and it's like, oh, Cameron broke free from, like, trying to please his dad. Yeah, but
Did he?
Ferrari?
Oh,
A Ferrari.
That's
I'm not being funny, even
rough.
if you had the best relationship with your father. A Ferrari.
oh my god, imagine.
Out the window of the garage.
It's just like Project X.
Right, yeah, right, like, it's so bad. And, like, the garage, broken. The
Oh,
car,
yeah.
broken.
That's so much. Oh my god. It's rough. That's bad.
Like, I understand that it's great that he's separated from being angry, and that's why I think with the mileage, fair dues. Because
Yeah.
if the car has no damage to it, he never should have started kicking it. Because I understand it's because he had, like, his little breakdown. But if the car had no damage to it and it just has high mileage, it's like, yeah, okay, I drove the car, but I took good care of it, didn't I? So, like, that's him proving a point that, like, he
Yeah.
should trust him a little more. But, yeah.
now he's just fucked everything up.
Once it was dented, already bad. Once
Yeah.
it's been thrown out the window and broken the garage,
Yeah, that's.
dude, like, I'm not
Too
being funny,
much.
you deserve to be in trouble for that.
Yeah.
It sucks that your dad sucks.
Because.
But even if your dad didn't love the car more than you, which, don't get me wrong, is messed up.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't love the car more than you, he loves the car enough because it's a Ferrari.
It's a nice looking. It's
Ferrari.
red. Quite like that.
I like this red. Yeah, I like
It's got
that.
no roof.
One thing is
does.
that I always think though, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe what he's standing on isn't, but it looks like he's always standing on the seats, like Cameron is.
Yeah.
and like
It probably is. Because what else would he be stood on?
exactly. And he's like so funny about everyone taking amazing care of his car, and he stood on the leather seats.
Maybe he knows
With
his
his shoes.
shoes are lovely and nice and clean.
He walks around the city.
Squeaky clean.
He walks around the whole city. You tell me he didn't at any point step on ground that has dirt.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been to Chicago.
Neither.
No?
Maybe they're pristine.
Maybe they polish the streets of Chicago.
Every minute.
Every minute someone sweeps under your feet
Imagine.
with a sponge,
Someone following you around with a fucking broom.
like pushing at your feet while you walk.
You're making dirt!
You're making dirt with your disgusting, filthy feet.
Real.
And they make you wear those little blue plastic bags.
Oh my god, imagine. That'd be so much fun. I like when
That's
Ed Rooney,
Hmm?
and I'm not going to do it, but he shouts Grace's name.
Grace! Oh my god,
really aggressively.
because the speakers were like bursting when he did it. It was like, Grace!
Literally. I was like, ooh!
I know, it was so funny.
Hey!
Because of like the 80s slightly off like audio quality, it just completely like went above the sound barrier when he shouted Grace.
Oh god,
Yeah.
that hurts me.
Mm.
Actually did.
It was iconic. And I love, this isn't a line, but I really need to mention it. Grace pulling pencils out of her hair.
Oh my god, I love that
Just
bit.
like, I love that scene. Just like a little scene of her going, another one.
I know, there were so many. Genuinely,
know.
how was there so many? Her hair wasn't that thick. Not to carry that many pencils.
I like the bit where Ferris is playing, what is that? It's the same instrument that Squidward plays.
Clarinet.
Clarinet. He's playing a clarinet and it's fucking awful. And then he goes, never had a lesson.
That's what my thing. I was like,
Yeah.
what do I mean?
And
there?
he just goes like, never had a lesson. It's like, yeah, okay.
Clearly.
Evidently.
I don't know if there was more quotes after this, but I felt, you know, so it's that scene where it's showing all of the students in that
Is it
teacher's
anyone?
classroom.
Anyone?
Anyone? And then gives the answer.
I can't remember that teacher's name. Did they give him a name?
No, I think so.
Yeah, he keeps just going like blah blah blah. Anyone, blah 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 blah. And then I literally like it keeps showing students, and they're literally like Kubrick staring him.
Literally.
They're literally just Kubrick staring him down, and also all of the shots are like uncomfortably long.
Oh, that's
on
so
each of them,
long,
you know what I mean? Like it's not like flickering between the students looking bored. It's like
It's really
spending
showing
a
them
good
bored.
time on each one.
I felt the same they did. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm like, when's the scene gonna
Anyone?
end? But it's like that's
Anyone?
how they feel about
Anyone.
anyone.
I do love that though. Because they just kept saying anyone between each question and answer.
Someone says, I'm so sorry about Ferris, like about your brother. And she's like, why are you sorry? I have to live with the trouser snake. Trouser snake is crazy.
I don't...
Trousers,
that's so,
I
like-
love... Oh, I didn't even say that was Jeannie. That was Jeannie who said that. Trouser snake is so funny. I used to call people trouser snakes because it was in Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging.
Oh, was it?
No. Well, basically...
Okay.
It
You just said it was.
It wasn't in... Well, this is the easiest way for me to explain it to you, is that there's books of them, called Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging.
Ooh,
And she says it in that.
nice.
It's a series. It's good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. She's not with Robbie for very much of it, though.
Oh, really?
Like the guy that she ends up in the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, not really.
I want to watch that movie.
Can we do an episode on that movie? Oh my god, put it on the list, put it on the list. Guys, if we did an episode on Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, who would fuck with it? Because that is one of my favourite movies of all time.
I watched it in so long.
Did you watch it as a kid or did I show it to you?
I can't remember.
To be fair, I would say the books hit different because in the movie, don't get me wrong, she's a
I
bit...
don't read.
No, I know. Well, they're kids' books. But in the movie, right? But there's like 7, you wouldn't be able to read them all. In the kids' books, in the movie, she's a bit of a twat, right? But you like her.
Yeah.
She's such a twat in the books. Like, you do like her, I guess.
She's annoying.
But also, you know how, like, in the film, they, like, some of their words they say aren't, like, real words. They use, like, little slang words.
Yeah.
There's, like, a whole glossary of words they use in each book.
That's funny.
Because they use so many words, absolute nonsense. Anyway, we should probably talk about this movie. I like the bit where Ferris is on the phone with the freshman girl who's just been given the phone, and then she goes like, "Oh, hi, Ferris," and he like puts a sneeze and cough sound on it, and she goes, "Oh my god, you're dying." And she's like,
it's literally like,
she's like, "How are you?" She's like, "How are you?" And he puts one sneeze and a cough, and she goes, "Oh my god, you're dying."
You could sneeze when you're not ill.
And then there's like a bit as well where she's like, "Are you gonna be alive this weekend?" And he's like, yeah, I think so. I think I can make it this weekend. And she's
Okay.
like, "Great, maybe I'll see ya." Yeah.
Perhaps.
Everyone loves Ferris.
Yeah, everyone does love Ferris.
Literally everyone in the whole world
What did
loves
he
Ferris.
do? Well, he keeps
They just love him.
saying that he's going to promise to do stuff with them.
He promises to do stuff for people, but also people just like him.
But yeah,
His general energy. He brings up the room.
that's true. He does have a general, like...
I think it's a very, like, typical thing for this kind of vibe. It makes sense for, like, this vibe of, like, the really popular guy, like, that he has this friend from, like, primary school who's, like, not popular at all and weird.
Yeah.
That he'd, like, that no one else really knows about.
Yeah, true. It does.
Like, it seems like Sloane is supposed to know Cameron, but also not really that well. Like, I feel like in certain points of the movie, they kind of bond.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like they were very close beforehand.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I got the vibe that they were. Not, like,
I used to.
close as in,
But
like,
when we watched
friends
it-
individually.
No.
But
when
then they'd hung out a lot.
I think they are supposed to have hung out a lot, but I think, like, at points of this movie when they were left alone, the two of them, and they spoke, it seemed like they hadn't really spoke about themselves together.
They didn't feel awkward.
No, it didn't feel awkward, obviously,
No.
but yeah. I never got that opinion as a kid. As a kid, I just assumed all three of them were friends. But as
Yeah.
a kid, I didn't understand, like, the first time I watched this, I was really young. And I didn't fully understand, I think, even that Ferris and Sloane were dating.
Right.
I mean, obviously I did,
They kiss.
because they kiss and all that. But I mean, like, I don't know.
They just felt like three friends. No, I see what that.
Like, I understood that she was, like, the romantic interest, but even though he says he wants to marry her, I guess... it sounds really stupid. I feel like I didn't understand that they were dating.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's not like a huge plot point that they're dating. I would say.
It becomes... Okay.
No, but it's not like a... You're following the fact that they're dating.
I'll say, I probably watched it when I was, like, 6. Didn't understand what dating was. And then I have known that they were dating since I watched it, like, the second time. Probably
Yeah.
when I was, like, 10. You know?
I like the line. I don't really. You're gonna have to tell me what happens. 'Cause I don't remember. But Rooney goes, "Thank you, Grace. I think you're wrong."
I wrote that too, but I don't think I gave it any context either.
And I don't remember what it was from.
You know, all I wrote was "Thank you, Grace. I think you're wrong." She said something about like him being too rude on the phone or something. And he's just like, "Thank you, Grace. I think you're wrong."
You're wrong.
I just like the bit where Ferris is talking to Cameron on the phone, telling him to come over, and then he goes, "Hang on, I've got another call. Hello." In his little sick voice, "Hello." And then it's so funny.
True.
And then obviously after that we get the iconic bit of Cameron in his car having a breakdown, and he's like,
Yeah.
He'll keep calling me till I come over. Fuck. And then he goes over in his little shithole car.
I have a quote from me.
Yeah.
It kind of became less like this was the case, but I said at one point that it felt like the cinema had trained us not to talk loads during the film because we were so quiet.
We were
And,
compared to
barely
normal.
talking to each other.
Throughout the
first
whole
part.
thing, we were compared to normal.
Yeah.
Like there were some points where I obviously got loud towards the end, but compared to normal, we were really quiet. That's
Yeah.
true.
I was like, oh, because we couldn't really talk in the cinema. It's trained us now. We're like
I adore
watching it in cinema.
Cameron's Sloane's dad voice, Mr. Pearson voice.
Oh my god, yeah.
And no, Peterson, sorry. And especially the bit where he goes, "What the hell is wrong with you anyway?" He's like, "Oh."
L.
And then obviously the iconic line from Rooney where he says, "You just produce a corpse and
Oh
we'll
my
let
God,
her
yeah.
go.
Produce a corpse.
Roll her old bones over here." Crazy thing to say.
Awful thing to say. And the look on his face when he thought it wasn't actually Ferris and he thought it was actually real. Oh, pure horror. It would be, wouldn't it, if you said all that shit?
Yeah. And then you found out actually no, it's not Ferris, and his mother-in-law just died.
Just died. Horrendous.
And the bit where he's like trying to fix it and he's like talking to Sloane, and she's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's
Bitch.
like, "I had a grandmother once. Well, two. Okay."
Yeah.
He really reminds me of a certain teacher from our secondary school.
No,
No?
I'll cut it out. Really?
Yes. And then I can actually explain why I think so though. Because we had a friend who had dyed their hair,
Yeah.
and he said, "Oh, I'm going to call your mum and tell her I said that you have to change it." And she said, like, "Okay, do that then." And he called them and then came up to the friend and said, "Oh, your mum said that you have to dye your hair back." And
Okay.
so said friend called her mum, and her mum said, "I said nothing of the sort. I told him to, like, bog off, basically. Obviously not like that, but I told him to bog off." And so this friend storms to his office and just starts, like, proper shouting at him,
That's so funny.
being like, "How dare you lie to me about that? Are you stupid? Are you stupid?"
What
Like,
was his response to it?
oh wait, I'm getting to that. Obviously, like, I'm gonna easily disprove you if you're lying about things that my own mother said. Like, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Like, she literally went, "You're a fucking liar and an idiot," and then stormed
Real?
away. And he just stood there, like, looking at her, knowing he'd messed up.
Well, yeah.
He didn't tell her off or anything.
No, you couldn't. You just lied.
You could, for the swearing
Mm.
and the shouting. Don't get me wrong, I think it was messed up he lied, but he could. I like the bit where he goes, "Pardon my French, but you're an asshole."
We literally wrote down all the same quotes.
I think that was
Swear.
pretty good. "You're an asshole." And then my favourite bit about that is just that he goes, "You're absolutely right." Like Ed does. And I'm like, that's real. At least
Okay.
he knows it.
Also, I can't copy the way he said it, but during that whole bit, he
Yeah.
goes, "You just mind your P's and Q's."
Yeah. Also, I love, I like when like, while Cameron's talking to him,
Yeah.
to the principal, Ferris is kind of like whispering, going like, "You're doing great, that's perfect." And he's like proper like whispering it, and he's like grinning, and he's like doing the little
Yeah.
okay signs like, "That's great, that's perfect." I love that bit.
For real. I'm kind of lost where we are. I just like zoned out.
We were just talking.
Yeah, I know. What were we talking about? What did you? What?
I just said about Ferris while Cameron's on the call with the
Yes.
the principal, and Ferris is like going like, "Oh, that's great, that's perfect,"
Yeah.
while he's
And he's
pretending
in
to
the
be Mr. Peterson.
Got it.
Cool.
I'm good.
I love the bit where it's just like bits of them where like I feel like childhood friends and friends that you get when you're like 17, 18 are so different, and you see the childhood friendsness in Cameron and Ferris, especially in moments like where Cameron's like, and then you deliberately hurt my feelings.
True.
And Ferris is like, I did not deliberately hurt your feelings, Cameron. And then also when they're in the garage looking at the Ferrari, and Cameron goes, this is one of my favourite bits, he goes like, it is his love, it is his passion, and Ferris goes, it is his fault he didn't lock the garage, and then goes, or garage, and then goes in. I love that bit.
Yeah, bro.
I love that the number plate is nervous. Nervous.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Because Cameron was very nervous.
I like that Jeannie says, go piss up a flagpole. And then the next one is your...
You heartless wench.
Goes,
The guy says, you heartless wench. No, he doesn't
yeah,
say it like that.
he doesn't know
But
that Jeannie is
that was a vibe.
Ferris's sister. And he's like, what about when it comes a time that you need something from Ferris, huh? You heartless wench. And then she's like, I don't give a fucking shit. Go
Flig.
go piss up a flagpole.
Bitch.
Um,
I don't have any quotes, so carry on.
I
don't have any quotes until they're in the like restaurant.
Oh, okay. I definitely have ones before that. Okay. Cameron they're like in the building, the tall building.
Yeah.
And Ferris goes, no. Cameron goes, Ferris, do you think the car's all right? And Ferris goes, sure. This is the world's tallest building.
We must distract you.
Yeah. And they all stood with their heads against the wall, obviously looking down. And I love that Cameron goes, I think I see my dad. Bear in mind, they literally say 1,153 feet. And all you can see is like these tiny little cars. And he's like, I think I see my dad. And then he's like, that bastard's down there somewhere as well, which is so funny. And then there's also when they're watching all of the stock market people.
Yeah.
And first of all, I like the bit where Cameron's like copying their actions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that bit.
But then also, Cameron's like, I can't make the noise, but he's like boinking against his cheek, making the little water. Can you do it? That was not.
No. I don't know how you do it. You're literally doing it.
It's not the same noise. He's went boink. Yeah, the flicking isn't doing anything. I didn't even realise that. Actually, wait. Yeah, that's all I was doing. I was just also flicking myself in the cheek and hurting myself for no reason because...
to make...
I love that you were convinced I was doing it. And I was just... I didn't notice I was making... I thought that the flicking was making the noise.
How's that even work?
Oh yeah, I saw Cameron go like... A little bit.
You did it!
Did that was actually it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How did you do that? Are you breathing out?
I'm not doing anything, I'm just moving my mouth. And also, neither of us are making noises even close to as good as Cameron's.
No.
This is content. It's the same noise. Okay, we're gonna need to cut that right down. But he's doinking and doinking and
Feel good
doinking.
being able to do it though. He's doinking.
Well, Ferris and Sloane are talking about getting married.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you can't get married because of my parents. And they're like, why? And he's like, it's like that car. He loves that car. He hates his wife. What is the correlation between loving the... Why does loving the car mean he hate his wife?
Because he loves the car more than his wife. And
Yeah,
it's
but
a
you
car.
can love the car more than the wife.
No,
not
you
hate the wife.
cannot.
No, don't get me wrong. You can't love the car more than the wife. But you could still not hate the wife.
Okay.
You could like the wife.
But
you could love
Cameron
the
probably
wife.
goes, oh, my dad loves his car more than his own wife. Probably means
He hates the wife.
he hates the wife.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess the wife would hate him.
I'd hate him.
Yeah, me too. That's a good point. Okay, I'm at the restaurant. I put that the restaurant scene in general is very much, I wrote in my notebook, posh restaurant scene very much giving with Nell and I. You know what I mean? The scene where they're like, we'd like your finest wine.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's giving that. Anyway, yeah, you can go.
I don't remember how he said it, but when he goes, snooty.
And then he goes, snotty.
Snotty.
I also like Ferris's Keira Knightley smile. I can't do it. But you know the one I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he has a smile. Ferris has his smile. But that whole scene where he's talking to the waiter, he's doing like this Keira Knightley smile that's not him. It's like, oh. Well, you know what I mean though.
Yeah, I know what you
Keira
mean.
Knightley kind of smiles with all her teeth.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. I kind of like it. It works for her.
Well, that's
She
my
was in all
fault.
those movies.
Yeah.
Is she in movies now?
I've not seen her in any movies. Ever, no.
Have you never watched Pride and Prejudice?
Recently. I haven't actually, no.
What? Can we put that on the list too? Thing is, right, me and my brother, we used to watch Pride and Prejudice every day before school. The one with Keira Knightley.
Mm-hmm.
And have you watched Bridget Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness me, you call yourself a film student.
Hey!
You call yourself a letterboxed enjoyer. You've never even watched Bridget Jones. You can watch first. No, Bridget Jones now. Bridget Jones has a guy and he plays Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. It also has Hugh Grant and whoever the hell plays Bridget Jones. To be fair, I don't know if... I think Pride and Prejudice could be the vibe because it could be funny because it's like a period piece. And it's got Keira Knightley and Keira Knightley's funny. She's in Love Actually. Yeah. She's bad in it. She cheats on her husband. Have you watched Love Actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. I like Hugh Grant in it. He was in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was good in it. Thing is, right, when I was a kid, I kind of fucking hated Hugh Grant. And he might have done something controversial, but I think he's really funny.
It's kind of a vibe.
Have you seen those videos of him? He's like, I hate people who wear backpacks. I hate people who wear backpacks on their front. I hate people who walk fast
really
behind
funny.
me and then I have to get out of their way. Have you never seen that video? It's just him talking about everyone he hates.
It's so funny.
It's just where he goes, I hate people who wear backpacks on their fronts. Who's doing that?
Some people do that.
Do you do that?
No.
I've never seen anyone do that.
I
except
would
like
turn it to my front to get something
when
out
I
of
was
the
a
pocket.
small kid, I used to do that sometimes.
But I wouldn't keep it there.
But that's it. Only when I was a small kid.
So you say.
Yeah. So I say.
Yeah, so you say.
Where are you going with that?
Mm.
Anyway, we're
gonna
really
fall asleep right
behind. Okay, come on. Well, we can finish in the morning if you want.
No, because I gotta go,
In the morning.
kind of.
Okay, come on then. Let's get a move on. I put... Oh, so he gives the phone to Sloane to call and pretend she's asking for the guy that Ferris is pretending to be.
Yes.
And she goes, he's devilishly handsome.
Yeah.
And then Ferris goes, ooh, and starts fixing his hair and stuff and like being... Ferris, right, don't get me wrong, he's obviously not, like he's a lady killer and he loves Sloane.
Are you about to say he's gay?
I wasn't going to say gay. I was going to say fruity.
Oh.
He's
Yeah.
fruity.
He's a bit fruity.
His vibe.
Yeah,
But
he has a
when we
fruity
say he's
vibe.
fruity, that doesn't mean we actually think
Fruity?
fruity. Fruity doesn't mean, in our language, gay.
No.
It means like camp. People say camp about people who are straight, right? They're just a little bit camp.
Yeah.
But then
think.
like, yeah, I think so. But then now to me, camp just applies to like over the top like shows and movies and stuff like that. And so now I just use fruity to mean camp. But anyway, he's just a bit fruity, like like with it. He's a bit over the top, and I like that about him. And then also I like the bit where they're like stood above his dad, which seems really risky as well. They're like stood above him talking. It's like, why didn't you just stay inside the restaurant if he was going outside?
Right. I was thinking that.
Yeah, and wait inside the restaurant for him to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that, but anyway, they all put on their glasses at the same time, and then this is another like thing that makes me like, which is like a fruity vibe, is like he like clicks, and then she clicks, and then Cameron starts walking, and like comes back and clicks,
No, he like.
or he just does
He
it
like,
like,
goes and then.
yeah,
does it
and
really
then does
quick.
it too, and then they all walk off. They strut off. I love that scene.
Bro.
Sorry, keep going with
It's
lines.
okay. I don't have anything until like a while. I don't think. Until
I like the bit where they're on the...
Jeannie goes back in the house.
Oh, okay. I have stuff between them. There's the bit where they're on what, baseball? Yeah, baseball court thing, baseball show.
Yeah.
And we don't watch sports. That seems like that came across in how I worded that.
Baseball show.
Baseball show. And Ferris is like looking at his hand. He's like, I think I broke my thumb. And then he goes, I think I broke my thumb.
So
and then Cameron just goes, hey, bada 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 bada, swing bada. And then he turns to Ferris, who's still looking at his thumb, and goes, you try. And then on first try, after not even seeming like he was paying attention, they both do it at the exact same time.
Yeah, for real.
Wait, do you want to try? Hey, bada bada bada, swing bada.
See?
Yeah, it wasn't as good as theirs though.
Well, no.
No.
Because they did
Cut
the first
just
try.
the perfect one and put that as the intro.
Yeah, for real.
Make it seem like we did it perfect on first try.
We did.
Did we? We could very easily make it seem like we did if we wanted to
No.
trick our audience. Manipulate. I just like that bit because I love that Ferris like thinks he broke his thumb. Cameron don't give no shits. Swing
would.
bada bada bada, swing bada.
Bada.
Anyway, and then I put what was the fact the teacher broke into the house is weird, but
Wait,
also
what?
I said the fact the teacher broke into the house is obviously weird. But one thing I put in that the kid is kind of like a scene, but it's not really a scene or a line, but just a note is like the dog, right?
Yeah.
I take issue with the dog. There's been a dog this whole time. Ferris has been hanging around the whole house, and messing around. And Cameron came over. Not a one interaction with the dog. Jeannie's there in the house. At that point the dog's knocked out outside actually. But still, Cameron and Ferris have both been in the house.
Yeah.
And there's not been one interaction with the dog.
That's true.
Don't you think there's something suspicious about that?
Not unless they hate the dog. And no. Yes, unless they hate the dog.
Yeah, but if they hit the dog, why do they have the dog?
Because the parents.
I guess. But the parents don't interact with the dog.
No, maybe they just don't care about the dog. They forgot
Well, that's depressing.
Also, when you said I take issue, it kind of sounded like you said I take a shoe.
I take a shoe. Yeah. The principal's shoe that the dog takes.
True.
Getting mud all over the house. Complete lack of respect for the property.
True.
Rude.
It's horrific.
I like the bit where, like, basically Ferris tells Cameron, this is in the car.
Mhm.
I think it is still before the bit you have though. They're in the car and Cameron's like saying that he knows that Ferris doesn't care. And Ferris goes like, that hurts my feelings. But before he says that hurts my feelings, he goes like, No, he doesn't even do it like that. He does it like really high. He's like,
Yeah.
that hurts my feelings. It's just like, go, why say it like that?
Yeah, for real.
I don't know. That's such a throwaway line for me to have put in. He said it in a weird way and I cannot remember.
I keep zoning out.
I don't know how we're going to finish this.
Maybe we should just finish it in the morning.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We'll go to sleep and do it in the morning.
Oh, I just remember how he said it. No, he goes, I think that's how he says it.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's not how I did it at all. It's not like
But like that.
flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You're
like
gonna fall asleep.
midnight.
If you're
Midnight.
completely
And we didn't
zoning-
get back
you
until
haven't
quite
said
late.
anything for ages. I've just been doing it.
I don't have any lines to be fair, but yeah.
I know,
tired.
but it's just like you're too tired to converse, and I've just been saying every line myself.
Good,
We
I'm
will be
tired.
back in the morning when Kai has rested.
Sorry, did this before as well.
Okay, hello, we're back.
But
We're back. My next line comes from when like Jeannie's in the house. She comes back to the house to see if Ferris is actually sick, and she catches him, and he's
Yeah.
not sick. And then she she notices that what's the principal called? Because I keep saying the principal. I forgot his name. I know it's Ed. Rooney.
Really?
She catches Rooney
Sorry, I yawned.
having broken into the house and like kicks him. Which first of all I love that bit because she like kicks him. It like repeats her kicking him and then it repeats him falling, and it's really funny. And she runs up the stairs because she's scared. And she's on the phone to the police and she says like, there's a guy in my house, and she goes, possibly armed, certainly weird. Which I like, she's right about that. And the bit also where she's like,
He was not armed, but you
No.
would have thought he would be.
I would think he was, yeah.
If like
It was
if I saw
unclear to
him-
her what his intentions were.
because the only time she saw him was when
He's covered in blood and mud, and his
then
trousers
jumps out in front of her.
Literally.
That's terrifying.
I'd assume he was armed too. One thing that confuses me though is Jeannie goes to the same school, does she not? We saw her walking around school there.
Yeah, she just didn't recognise him, I guess.
And
In
she
the
went
panic.
to the. But this is the thing, is right. To be fair, that was only. I was gonna say people in the school didn't know who her brother was, but then I realised it was only one guy who didn't know that Ferris was her brother.
Yeah.
Another girl did. So she does go to school, and she went to the office asking for
Mr. Rooney.
Mr. Rooney. And then when she sees him in the house, she doesn't recognise him at all.
That does seem odd.
But I guess she only sees him for a second, kicks him and runs,
That's true.
and he is like a mess.
That is also
Because
true,
it seems
yeah.
like she's realised who he is at the end, obviously.
Yeah, because he dropped his thingy.
Well, that's true as well, yeah. Maybe she hasn't seen him. That seems weird, though, that you wouldn't have seen your own principal.
Maybe.
You think that seems weird?
Yeah.
Like, because she's like...
But I reckon, like, the reason why she didn't recognise him is because she was like, fuck, there's somebody in my house. I was expecting it to be Ferris.
You know what I just
It
realised,
wasn't.
though?
Run.
You know what I just realised, though?
What?
I'd always assumed she was older than Ferris, but Ferris is about to graduate.
That's true.
Well, we have to do some checking.
Maybe she's still
Maybe
older.
same
Yeah,
age.
year. Like,
How does that work?
she's a few months older.
There's 9 months for pregnancy between two babies.
That's true. 9.
If they literally immediately got pregnant after,
Yeah.
is it even possible?
It depends. When's his birthday?
If they're not twins, they could be twins.
Well, they could be twins.
They could be twins. No, okay, she's younger.
Never mind then.
I always assumed that,
She does give off the vibe that she's older.
doesn't she? I don't know, I think the scene where she's in the police office and she's like talking to a guy seemingly for the first time ever in her life, and she's being all like, ooh, you know, like that bit makes her seem like she's younger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's just the one scene, and it's supposed to be like she's finally happy, fine,
Yeah.
you know. So that, I think that's why.
I didn't read it, but maybe that's because you were saying about her being older because she
Because I just thought she was.
older, so I was like,
But I never thought about the fact she goes to the same school and he is a senior.
Yeah. Don't think.
And she's the one with the fucking car. I would be mad too. Yeah, I'd be mad too, actually. And maybe I understand his car obsession. And then I also, like, on the same phone call, she kind of is, like, talking... She's like, I'm very alone. I'm very cute.
Yeah.
I mean, good for her. She is.
What does she say? Like,
And I'm very protective of
my body. I don't want it to be
molested
or
or killed.
killed.
And also, she is serious about... Oh, no, I can't remember why I said it. Because
Queen.
there's, like... Oh, so when she's cooling down, she's like... She clearly is very concerned about being molested, which
Yeah.
fair enough. But the way she goes about it, she's like, I'd like to add that I have my father's gun and a scorching case of herpes.
For real. That's so funny.
my go-to American accent. Oh, it's so bad.
No, it's
It's so bad. I need to learn to do a good one.
nice. It's
No, it's
relaxing.
not. But yeah, it was. I love that bit.
No, it's funny.
Is
Is it my bit now?
Yeah.
I'm assuming this was in the police station when she was talking to the guy. No, it wasn't.
She's talking to a guy in the police station. You mean the nurse? She goes down to the
No,
door.
I was gonna not do that bit
Why? That was great.
because all I wrote was I'm the nurse that likes to.
Yeah.
Because she was gonna say fuck, when she was meant to say fuck, and then she
This
closed
is
the
a
door. on
sexy
her.
nurse. The sexy nurse someone sent for Ferris, which seems inappropriate. But
Yeah, right.
someone
I wonder
sent
who did that.
Someone sent a sexy nurse to Ferris, and
I wanted to write down the whole speech she did, but I can't remember it. Do you remember it?
when she first answers, she's like, "Thank you so much." That's before she notices it's them. She's like getting all excited that the police came, and then when she opens
yeah.
the door, it's the nurse,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What the fuck?" She just slams the door.
No, I mean the nurse's speech. She did a whole
Oh,
little
she's like,
bit, but I don't remember what it was until the last line.
"Oh no, I just know I'm the nurse." Like step foot.
And shuts the
But
door
basically,
on.
the rest of it rhymes with that, and it's like about being sick and stuff. That's the only actually like inappropriate line. I think she's just dressed
Yeah.
very inappropriately.
Yeah.
But also, right, if the nurse is supposed to be like a prostitute,
Yeah.
say the nurse is a prostitute, and she's there to have sex with Ferris,
Yeah.
why is the whole damn circus stood behind her? What are they involved in? How are they involved?
Entertainment, you know, in case she's not good enough. Maybe she's not very good. She has to bring along.
Clowns. Just to bring along the clown college. The whole
This
damn.
is not me assuming that she's not good, by the way, guys. I'm just like saying that maybe that's.
I don't think you
Why?
need to confirm that.
I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
I don't know. I'm sure she's very good. I wouldn't know, but
Well, she's not real,
no, but you know.
so you don't have to feel bad.
No, I did. I
Anyway,
had to confirm it. Just making sure.
um,
But yeah, and I said, what is this part from?
What part?
Why don't you put a thumb up your butt?
Yeah, that was my next line as well. So Jeannie in the waiting room, and the guy's like talking to her about how like the emo guy that's Charlie Sheen as my mother.
Yeah.
In Formless, he's like telling her about how she's like needs to get over the fact that Ferris is.
Oh right.
Like
yeah.
That her parents love Ferris, and she goes, "Why don't you stick a thumb up your butt?" Not like that. Also, I think that's part of why I thought Ferris was younger than Jeannie.
Yeah.
Is because the parents do treat Ferris like a baby.
Yeah.
You know? So I just assumed, like, they're like, oh, our precious Ferris, not evil Jeannie. So I just kind of assumed Ferris was younger.
True.
Obviously.
I think a lot of things in the film, I assumed that was correct. I didn't question it, based on anything, other than, like, the fact that they're both in the same school.
Yeah.
But other than that fact, it all seemed...
I also like the bit where my next line is Cameron's running the car backwards, and it's like, the numbers aren't going off. It's like, yeah, obviously not.
Because it doesn't go off if you reverse the car. I don't see
So
how that would even be...
No, yeah.
the
How
thing
the
that
hell
they
would that
think
be a
would
thing?
happen.
Right. In what universe does running the car backwards take miles off?
I have no idea.
That is like something from a cartoon.
Yeah.
And furthermore, right?
Furthermore. Oh my god, what would we...
I would assume that running the car backwards for that long would make the miles increase, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So at least they have that, because I would assume it would make the miles increase.
Well, yeah, me too.
And then Ferris is like, oh, we'll just have to take the thing out and change it. Like, at this point, just let it go. And I know Cameron does let it go, but still.
Yeah.
I have the bit also where... Oh no, my next line's a while later.
Mine too.
From the garage scene.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would like to talk about my favourite line.
Okay, I've got one before that.
What the heck is it?
It's just a bit sweet, and I like the bit where when Ferris says bye to Sloane and he runs off, and then she goes, "He's gonna marry me."
He's gonna marry me.
It's like, oh.
I have that after.
I wrote it down before. It's definitely before your favourite line. You just wrote it down early because you were excited.
You may be right about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well then I have lines before that, I think. Oh, you know, I definitely do. I like that she says to the emo guy, "It's Jean, but a lot of guys call me Shauna."
Yeah.
What? We've only heard anyone the whole movie call her Jeannie.
Yeah.
And then she tells him her name is Jean, but she goes by Shauna, which doesn't make any sense because where's the Shauna coming from? And then he's like, "Okay, Jean."
Shauna.
Which is rude. I guess she didn't say you have to call me Shauna.
She said guys usually.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be like...
Different.
Well, I'm going to call you your name.
Well, she
because
just
I
said
like
Jeannie.
you.
She just said Jeannie, because Jeannie sounds nice.
Oh, yeah.
Does Jean sound nice? Oh yeah, I like the name Jean. I like the name Jean.
people for Jean.
Yeah, I quite like the name Jean.
Yeah.
But still, I think if he was trying to be like, ooh, you know,
Yeah, that's a...
I'm different, I
Yeah.
just think he would have said Jeannie.
Well, yeah.
Not insulting the name Jean.
She didn't suggest
but-
Jeannie, I feel like...
Yeah, but then you hear her mum go, Jeannie!
Jeannie!
Jeannie! There's a bit where they're in the car together, and for some reason I also just think it's so hilarious that the mother made Jeannie drive home
Yeah.
from, like, she made Jeannie,
Yeah.
I know, like, obviously Jeannie can drive and she's got a car, but, like, the fact that she made her drive home from
Yeah,
the...
I was confused by that. I was
from-
like, it's...
You
So it's like a teaching moment, like, I'm going to drive and I'm going to be, like, you know...
Yeah, exactly. But Jeannie, because she got a parking ticket, so you'd think like the mum would be like, "I'm driving." But anyway,
Yeah,
so the mum says like, "Do you know what it's like to have to pick up your daughter from the police station?" And Jeannie goes, "No, not really."
She doesn't.
How would she know? She doesn't have a daughter.
No.
She's never had to pick her up from the police station.
No.
How would she know what it's like? And then they like start shouting back and forth because Jeannie almost killed Ferris.
Yeah.
And the mum doesn't know and doesn't know why she stopped.
Slow down!
And she goes, "I can't drive while you're yelling at me!" Like really loudly. Because like the mum is just like screaming at her and
Yeah.
Jeannie's like trying to drive. I love that bit too. It's so
Yeah.
funny. She's like smacking on the thing.
Yeah, no, that bit is really funny.
I also like the bit where Ferris is running through the houses and he like goes like, "Dinner's cooked."
Oh yeah, to the people,
people
and they're
in the
like,
house.
who's that? What's that mean?
Yeah. Okay, my last line is my favourite line. So if you have any, you may.
No lines. Yeah, no.
No. Okay, well, my favourite line is the mum is talking to the dad. This is my favourite line because when I was a kid, I never noticed it was in the movie, and then I watched it the other day, and I noticed it, and that's my favourite line. And the mum's talking to the dad, and she's like, "Oh, do you know what? I had to pick Jeannie up from the police station today. She got 2 parking tickets. She was making phony phone calls. And then the dad just goes, I think we should shoot her. Oh my God.
That is
cracks me up. Because the dad is so like, he's not with it at all. He sees Ferris so many points during the movie. He sees Ferris like face on and just doesn't notice it's him.
Yeah, literally. He's not with it, but it's just the fact that like that was his first thought to say.
Yeah.
Because even if he is joking, he still thought that. It's like, oh, this would be funny. I think we should shoot her. Okay.
But like,
that's rough.
It's just so funny. And then especially like Ferris is like so perfect, and if the dad had made that joke about Ferris, I think the mum would have been so angry.
Yeah.
Also, it's so funny though because the mum actually does treat Ferris like a little baby, but the dad like doesn't really. Like he's just like you know, he called him from work and he was like, "How are you, Ferris? Oh, you sound really sick." But he's not really like, he doesn't really treat either of them like his kids. He's just kind of like
he would call him champ.
He does. And never hug him.
Yeah.
But like Ferris wouldn't say he's a bad dad.
No.
He's like a great dad.
When they call,
he's just a slightly
when they call
distant.
like toddlers and really young kids, champ.
Sport.
Boy. Yeah. That's what he would call Ferris.
Son.
Yeah.
I know, obviously
He's
that sounds
generic.
That sounds stupid, but you know what I mean? Like saying, like calling him like, well, come on, son. Yeah, literally, like that's different to being like my son.
Yeah.
You know?
You got it, son. Champ. Boy. Yeah, well, that's like so true.
The dad seems like they consider him a completely good father, but he doesn't like hug them or say he loves them.
Yeah. He's a bit too out of it.
He's just out of it. He doesn't seem like he knows he has kids. You know?
Yeah, no. Like, it's like, oh, there's some people in my house that I have to like kind of look after.
Literally.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
I'll pay the bills.
Bro. Easy peasy work.
That's my last line. Should we get into scenes?
Yeah.
We need to get through scenes a lot faster than we got through lines doing that. One of the first ones I wrote is that he has like, his curtains are made of like loads of handkerchiefs tied together, and then he opens them with like sticks.
Are they?
Like he like picks up these little like wooden rods and like pulls them apart, and then it's like his curtains, and they're like, it's like made of those little weird clear handkerchiefs that you know ones we used to use in ballet.
Yeah,
loads of those tied together, and I just noticed it and I was like, what the hell? Is he good?
That's so weird.
It's like, why is it like that? Why doesn't he have normal curtains? Maybe he has normal curtains and then them, so he can have it like nice light when he wakes up.
Yeah, too fair.
But still, I think that's really funny. And then also I do
love when the sun, like, because my bi flag is on the window, so when all the sun comes in,
it's like a nice colour, yeah.
And purple. Cute.
This is a scene I liked. It's when he's calling Cameron, being like, "You need to come and pick me up. You need to come pick me up. We're gonna spend the day together." And they're going back and forth from like Cameron's depressing bedroom to Ferris on like a pool chair outside in like a Hawaiian shirt, drinking something, I don't know, juice.
Nice drink.
Yeah. And as it swaps between them, it goes from like this nice Hawaiian music that reminds me of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
To like boom boom boom. For Cameron, it's like boom boom boom, and like it does it every time it swaps back and forth. I would love
parallels.
Parallels.
Yeah,
I love that bit.
I do. I think it's really interesting because like they've built up this character thing in Cameron, and like obviously it is throughout the whole thing, because obviously like there is like moments of it and stuff, obviously, and at the end and stuff as well. But his bedroom and like that whole beginning bit seems kind of like forgotten in a way, you know, when you get like through the movie.
Oh, the whole bit at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and it's so good. Like the initial interactions between Ferris and Cameron.
Yeah, it was just like you kind of forget that that's how their day started out.
Yeah.
You know.
He was just like, "Come on, Cameron, come and get me. We're gonna go get my girlfriend." Yeah. I love. Also, I didn't mention this in lines when they pull up. I pull up in the new book. Anyway, they pull up, and
I was dancing to that.
Sorry. Oh, that's nice. And Sloane gets in the car, and then she's like, "Hi, Cameron. Comfortable?" Because he's like, and he goes,
stuck.
He goes, "Hi, Sloane." No.
I don't even understand, because when he was sat at the back on the seat or whatever, and he had his legs up, his legs were like pressed together.
Yeah, he's like
between the seats.
Yeah, because
so how did he fit?
It's supposed to be like a two-seater, probably. I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was under them. He was like in the booty type part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like But then I also just think, like, it's his dad's car, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Ferris gets to drive, Sloane gets to sit in the passenger seat, and then he's cramped out in the back.
Okay. Feel bad for him.
I love Sloane and all, but she should have to be cramped in the back.
Yeah.
Or he should get to drive.
Because also, she's smaller than Cameron. She could have fit in the back more easily.
Yeah, he doesn't fit. He's massive. Ferris is smaller than Cameron. He should have been in the back.
Yeah.
But then if Cameron was the one driving, he'd be like, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe he can't drive as well.
well, no, he can. He has a car. He has his own car,
Oh yeah, of course he does. They do say about that.
and he picks Ferris up.
But like, you can't.
And then also when in the beginning he drives and gets Ferris, takes him to his house.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing his car vaguely.
The white one that he's in, when he's like, he's gonna keep calling, he's gonna keep calling, and then that's how he gets to Ferris's house.
Yeah. For me, I've got when he's on the phone with the people in school. I love how he has a piano, a full piano, of all just different like sickness noises that he presses.
The keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's so
The
funny.
keyboard, yeah. To like
Cough, cough.
to fake his like.
He starts like playing a song in it. Yeah, it's so funny.
It was great. And also like, I wonder if that was like something he made,
Or if it was just like
or
that.
if it was just like a one already there. I love it. I think it's so funny.
Yeah, I remember playing on the ones in music, and they would go like, boom, boom, like in a human voice.
Yeah, I like the ones with talk. The talk.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
Alright. And then I'd be like making a remix.
Exactly.
And anyway. Okay, so I actually do have a bit. I like the bit where the teacher
Mhm.
is like talking to Ferris's mum.
Yeah.
And she's like, Ferris is sick and he can't come in. And he's like, Ferris Bueller has had 9 sick days. And then you see the number changing on the screen right in front of his eyes. It's like, did Ferris really think he was subtle? First of all, they're not going to be like, oh, well, it said 9 yesterday, but now it says 2. So I guess he only had 2 sick days.
Yeah.
And secondly, like, it's right in front of his eyeballs. The number's just going down right in front of his eyeballs. That's
Literally.
so funny.
He's like looking at it. Well, to be fair, it doesn't even matter if he suspects it's Ferris, because one, he suspects everything is Ferris,
Oh, yeah.
and 2, there's still lack of proof. Like, it's not, like, it's gone.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Number's gone.
Anyway, what do you have next?
I think it's when Cameron, was it Cameron? And he, like, pulls his face and starts, like, moaning about something, and he looks like Donald Trump. And he sounds like Donald Trump.
Oh my god. That was the he's gonna keep calling. He goes,
Oh, in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulls like a face and then he goes, he's gonna keep calling. He's gonna keep calling. I can't do.
Oh, it's so funny. He, like, scrunches up his face.
Keep calling.
And he genuinely looks
good?
like...
He's gonna keep calling. I did it good the first time. Did you see it the first time?
No.
Oh, fuck's sake. The first time I did it really good and then you didn't look and then I can't do it again.
I'm sorry. I'm sure it was amazing. Incredible, even.
Can't do it.
No. I actually have something near the numbers going down bit.
Huh?
Do you have anything more about them when the numbers go down?
No.
When he suddenly realises that it's not Ferris on the phone, and it's like, it zooms in really, really
It looks
close, and the music
horrifying.
goes like all intense, and he genuinely looks like he's made the worst mistake in his life.
Yeah, I love that bit.
It's just such good editing, filming. I like when Rooney's trying to get Sloane to walk her out, and he's running down the hallway to hurry up, and then by each door he just stops and walks calmly, and then starts running again.
Yeah,
and there's like 3 doors, aren't even that far apart. He might as well just walk the whole
he
thing.
doesn't want the kids to see that.
But he runs them in between each one. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
because there's the windows too, so he like is slow for quite a while.
Yeah.
He's like run, run. And it's,
It's just like
it seems like it's slowing him down.
issue.
If you just did one brisk walk down the entire corridor, he'd be a
Would it
lot
be-
faster.
It would be that suspicious.
That bit reminds me of the Breakfast Club though.
Yeah, for real.
Like when they're running down the hallways, that's what it reminds me of, even though
Yeah.
they don't.
They're not,
So they
but
are.
you know. Before, so they're in the garage, and he drives off, and like Ferris like pulls this like scrunched up face with a smile, and he's like,
He goes.
yeah, to be like, I'm gonna drive it anyway.
He
so.
doesn't. He pulls that face while he's driving out of the garage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I'm driving it, so like.
No, Cameron's saying no, but Ferris is always already in the car, and then but like Cameron's kind of just let it happen by the time he pulls face.
Yeah, and he's like
Yeah.
I gotta drive a car. I'm going. It's already happening.
And then also the bit where they pick Sloane up and he's like, "Do you have a kiss for Dada?" And then she's like, "You're insane."
Literally.
And then she does kiss him.
They like make out
They
in front
like
of
make out.
Rooney.
And Rooney's like, "So that's how it is in that family," which is real. I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
I'd be like, what the fuck? What's going on? The fuck?
Well, he doesn't want to get in shit. It's the 80s.
It's true, but weird.
Also, Rooney can't talk. He breaks into houses.
That's also true. He
So, like, what's he gonna do? Call the police?
to be fair, he hasn't broken into houses yet,
But then he would have.
but he would have, and then
Yeah.
be on their radar.
I really like the all the shitty, all the city shots. Like when they're driving through, there's like really nice shots of the city. Looks pretty. I like the bit where okay, so they give the man money to look after the car, right? And they're leaving the multi-story.
Sorry, that was before.
The multi-story parking lot. There's no fault you didn't know. They're leaving the multi-story parking lot, and none of them see the Ferraris zoom off right behind their eyes.
Yeah.
I love that bit. Like they're just walking away, and they're like, "Oh, that guy seemed nice," and then you just see like right behind them, and they just did not notice at all.
Literally picks up a friend, and off they go. I'm surprised they brought it back, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to. I thought they were going to like be like, because I couldn't really remember it from when we watched
they'd
it.
be in a lot more trouble.
That's true.
Then if like they didn't damage it at all. They just run the miles straight up.
They were just adventuring.
Also, I noticed this when the mum comes home to check
Yeah.
on him, and when Jeannie comes home, that they have the most hideous wallpaper in their house.
Do they? I don't know.
Like all on the top of the stairs. It's not that the wallpaper's hideous. It's that it looks like it needs to be on like one wall, like a feature wall.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like this. It's like a. I think if the wallpaper has like a pattern that's like detailed,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be on like all four walls facing each other. You know what I mean? Because then you're like trapped in a prison of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's too
That's
much.
true.
It made me feel sick.
I was just, like talking about how Rooney is the scariest and most freak man I have ever seen.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. He is a freak. Also, Rooney, when he's like going to look for Ferris, has like these sunglasses that completely lift up off his face, and he's like looking around, and then he's like, boom.
I did not notice that.
Really? I mentioned it. Oh my god.
I did not notice that.
I actually mentioned it as soon as it came on screen because I was excited about it.
Maybe I just don't listen to you when we're watching.
I think you might be right. Okay, anyway, you can tell your...
And then there's like holding. It's like a long line of kids just going past the screen. Just so many tiny children.
And
then they're just like
line as well. There's like a little
break
in the line.
and then the person like runs up to catch up and grab onto the hand in front
Which is
of them.
so real.
And then it's just them three holding hands in the line. And then there's more kids after them. It's like they proper broke into the line.
I think the kids
like,
wanted them to be in
walk
the line. The thing is, right, I love that scene and it's really cute. But that seems like the most disruptive way a bunch of kids could walk around an art museum. Right? Walk in lines of two or something. The most disruptive way on earth kids could walk around an art museum is sideways, holding hands in a line, pulling each other.
Because imagine just trying to you're just going through and there's a barrier of kids just walking past you like this. It's like, what the fuck?
Because it's so long, I bet like certain rooms, they go across the entire room.
Yeah. Well, they did this one. This looked like it was like basically the whole room in the shot. So
But it's really cute. The whole art museum scene is like, I think it's funny because when he's like, it's supposed to be like the tasteful thing they do that day. You know what I mean? Like out of everything they do, he's like, we went to an art museum, we saw culture. And so it's just funny to me that scene's all like with like music and like silent, no talking. And there's the scenes where they're all stood in front of each painting.
I know, it's cute.
I like the bit where Cameron's looking at the picture. Sloane and Ferris off lovey-doveying, and Cameron's like looking at the picture and he's like staring into the little boy's face.
Yeah.
And
It just
it
keeps
keeps
reflecting.
going to Cameron's face and then closer in on the boy.
Yeah.
Poor Cameron. He looks very upset.
He's very upset.
Yeah.
I also think how much I do love that scene. There's something in my head that kept just telling me, the more you zoom in, the more I just can't tell that's a face
I think that's the
on
point.
the painting.
I think that's the point.
I wasn't sure if it was just
The more it zooms in, the more it's just like these little coloured
Yeah.
blobs. I think that's on purpose.
Okay. I
I
lose
want
the
to find out what that
face.
painting is. I knew who most of the paintings they showed were by. Like they show a big black and white Pollock, and then the scene where they're all stood in threes is they're all Picassos, I'm fairly certain, and there's definitely a Henry Moore statue, and it's sick. But I want to go to that art museum.
Yeah, that was cool.
It looks so sick, and like the big stained glass window that they're in front of as well. Okay, it's called A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Yate.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not how you say that. By GRZLY, but I think that's probably not how you say it. I never know how to say that name when it's just George with an S.
Yeah, no, neither. There's a guy who does I can't remember his last name, but his first name is Georges or whatever how you say it. Who does like cubism and shit,
Yeah.
like Picasso.
George. Okay, it's just George. Well, it's not just George. Sorry, that's awful. You don't pronounce hers.
No.
Okay, well, I don't know how to pronounce his surname either. Surat. I think I know who the artist is, but like I've seen pictures before.
Mhm.
Like all the paintings they kind of choose in that scene is to represent different things about Cameron. So he says the painting because it conveys his insecurities. So I think it's kind of like I don't know.
Okay.
His fear, like that he's not capable of kind of like having fun and living life type thing. A rare deeper moment in this movie is that whole scene in this, like I said, like it takes a break away from like, oh, it's Ferris, everything's up, everything's excitable,
definitely.
to be like, look, Cameron's actually pretty messed up. And like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
and so like this is genuinely breaking out of his comfort zone.
The next one I've got is after they leave. I think it's after they leave the museum, and they're driving through to go to the thing.
To the big show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they see Ferris's dad in the car next to them.
Yeah.
And then they all have to Ferris's dad sees Ferris, and
Looks
then turns
back.
back. And
There's
he
a
looks
double
back,
take.
and it's just Sloane sat with her glasses on, like in the seat, and the other two are there in the footwell, rubbing the fucking rabbit's foot.
That's what I love. I love that they're rubbing the rabbit's foot like furiously. They're like,
Oh no!
what's that gonna do for you, buddy?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Any good luck, please.
I also love that supposedly, like, Ferris loves this girl. They're gonna get married one day, and they're like, you know, they've been dating like a while, right?
Yeah.
But Ferris's dad can't recognize her with sunglasses on.
Literally.
You'd think Ferris's dad would have seen a lot of her.
You think? Maybe
Can't
they
recognize
just
her with sunglasses on.
maybe they just hang out at her
Maybe
house.
they just hang out around Chicago,
Or that, yeah. They don't need to be inside.
in school.
They can just
You'd
hang out
think not, considering they're like
elsewhere.
in love or whatever.
Well, yeah. But you know.
It's like Cameron. He's never been in love.
But then again,
Mm.
the dad's not really there. He's not
Yeah,
with
to be
it,
fair,
is he?
maybe the
So
dad's just not all with it.
he's
Would he
just
even
like-
recognise Ferris with sunglasses on? Probably not. He doesn't recognise Ferris without sunglasses on.
Yeah, so
So
I think we're good. I think probably
maybe,
they do
you're right.
hang
Maybe that's an
out.
unfair judgment on my behalf.
Maybe they do hang out at Ferris's house, but
Maybe she literally goes for dinner with the family all the time, but the
Yeah.
dad just
doesn't
he's
think
just
about
not
these
with
things.
he's not with it.
We'll see Ferris' little performance.
Amazing.
Top
I love that
notch.
his hair looks so much better in that part than the rest of the movie.
His whole everything. He's got his little vest out. I know he's wearing it the whole time, but I can see it because of the jacket. He's got his little vest. Dedicated a song to Cameron.
It was cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I just like
The whole song was
the
bit.
whole movie. He's had hair like an actual shell on his head, like one physical,
My stomach.
like a Lego hair.
He does actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And then for that one scene, his hair looks great.
Yeah, for
No
real.
notes. But you know, I love that scene. But also one thing I put was that like the security had just told Sloane and Cameron to get away from the float, right?
Yeah.
Like shouting at them and shit, telling them to get away from the float when they're trying to talk to Ferris. But then when Take It On Baby Now comes on, Twist and Shout. When Twist and Shout comes on, everybody is like flooding the road and is like right next to the float.
Yeah.
None of them get told to move back.
Well, I mean, this one security man. Poor guy. He can't.
No, more than one person tells them to get away from the float,
Still,
right?
not
yeah,
enough people to stop a whole crowd from.
But, yeah, but he could
going
have
around.
like stopped them before it started, type thing.
Maybe.
I don't understand why. Yeah, or just not bother telling Cameron and Sloane to move in the first place.
Yeah. They just
But,
want to talk to their friend. Twist and shout.
What do you have?
Not till.
I like the bit where they find out about the mileage being really bad.
Yeah.
And Cameron's screaming, and while he's screaming, it just keeps like doing like flashes, like it just like does different shots of the city.
Yeah.
So it does like buildings and cars moving and like statue faces, and like I think on one hand it's just supposed to be like funny because you know, but also like it's kind of like a look. See, everyone's lives are going on as normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
All is good. In
to
the
no
world.
one else does it matter even a tiny bit. It has not ruined everything and made the world end that Cameron's car, Dad's car, has high mileage.
Yeah.
You know, like I love that bit.
It's ruined his though. So I was just saying that I think it's really good for Cameron that even though despite it like kind of caused lots of issues for him in the long run anyway, but in the moment, good for him for taking out his anger in the car. You know?
Yeah. No. If it wasn't a Ferrari, if it was a normal car and his dad, like not a normal car, but like just like a bit of a nice car, but nothing like actually that special, and his dad, it'd be different. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't make it okay that his dad is like loving it more than everyone else in his life, but it doesn't. It does make it a bit like maybe don't take your anger out on the car.
Maybe don't, but good for you for realising.
Yeah, good for him.
And
Good
overcoming.
Stressful for me.
Well, yeah, but you're not there. You're not going to get in trouble if the car breaks.
The bit where they're at the pool
Mhm.
and like Cameron like throws himself in the pool, and then Ferris gets him out and he's like, Ferris Bueller, you're my hero. But I'm not convinced that was all a joke.
No.
Like he plays it off as a joke, but I'm not convinced it was one. Before.
And I think Ferris and Sloane don't think it was a joke either.
No, he's all like, oh, you're an asshole for like tricking me, but I think
I think they're like, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, and then also like
Sorry about their friend.
when Sloane's like, so when you were by the pool, did you see me get changed? And he does the most evil little like he's a child who just stole sweets grin.
Yeah, real.
You know, he's like, and she's like, I thought you were catatonic, Cameron. And she's like, whatever, I'm not embarrassed. And Ferris is not bothered. He just starts like laughing.
And he's like,
you were looking at my girlfriend naked. Just very amusing. He literally doesn't care. Would you care if you were Ferris? Look, I would.
I probably would.
It depends.
But in the sense that like I can have a feel of what their friendship is like.
If
then
I
probably
trusted Cameron that much, which it seems like Ferris does, then I guess I'd trust him as long as
I'd be a bit like as long as Sloane is.
Yeah, I was gonna
not,
say
like,
as long as
upset
Sloane's not bothered, I'm not bothered type thing.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
But like, if it was anyone else, I think I'd be upset.
But also, he's all like, Cameron's gonna be a virgin forever, or he's gonna like stop being a virgin and then marry the first woman he sleeps with, and she's gonna treat him like shit. And Cameron's never felt love. Like he just wants Cameron to be happy and live a normal life like a normal person. Like Ferris seems like he's so convinced that Cameron's to be happy. Like he wouldn't care if they like kissed. You know what I mean? Like because he's so like which is sweet, I guess. Still strange
a little bit, but they just trust each other. So, do you not trust me, Ted?
To look at, well, I'd be a bit annoyed if you looked at my girlfriend.
I wouldn't look at your girlfriend, to be fair.
But I guess if she wasn't that bothered, I wouldn't shout at you.
Thanks.
I don't know.
I meant just in general, but
that's all of my scenes.
Is it?
Well, okay. Special mention to obviously Rooney catching Ferris, and Ferris is like, and the genie comes and saves the day.
Real.
Queenie Genie.
Oh, actually, I do have a scene when he's running back, and then he runs past two like women,
and he goes back,
and he's needing to get home before them because he thinks he'll get in a lot of trouble, and like all of this day will be not worth it.
Sprinting through buildings and shit.
And then he sees two women like in bikinis, and that is what makes him stop and go back and say hi. And he introduces himself, and it's like,
hi,
oh my God.
I'm Ferris. Also, though,
Ferris, Jesus Christ.
He says hi, I'm Ferris. You've been talking all day about how you're in love with your girlfriend, you're gonna marry her.
Stop and don't talk to other women.
And you're going back to go and speak to these ladies. Inappropriate, bad and wrong.
I was just like, this is ridiculous, but it's funny. But yeah, I think that is all my scenes.
That's all my scenes.
Cool. So Letterboxd.
Mine's from a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm assuming yours is from yesterday.
Yeah. Should I go first or do you want to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, so I gave it a 4.5 stars. Accidentally put it as 3.5 before my other watch, but I didn't mean that. And my review was trouser snake with the emoji pointing.
Trouser snake.
Put the emoji pointing out.
That's real. I give it 5 stars.
Yeah.
And like, real ones had a lesbian awakening at 8 from Sloane. Sloane is stunning.
She is stunning.
I know. Well.
Okay, well.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
Talking about... You don't sound like you did.
I'm tired. And I don't think I was very entertaining on this.
I don't think it was my best, to be honest. But you know what? The thing is, right? We both are doing like... what are basically our like finals type thing at the moment, you know?
Yeah.
After like May time.
Oh,
No, not for you actually. You're still going to be there till June.
maybe beginning of June.
I know it sounds like a really long time away. Obviously, we're still going to be making episodes, but I just mean like I think content is going to go up a lot in quality once we're both done.
Yeah.
These are stressful times at the moment.
The
but
closer we
to be
get.
fair, these stressful times will be over in a couple of weeks probably.
I'll be happier
The
again in
jolt
February.
of the stress is going to be over by February, partway through February.
And
I
then
imagine.
it'll go back bad again in April.
Woo! Wonderful. So,
Yay. I'm turning this off now because I don't want to edit for 2.5
okay.
hours. More.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, wait. Boy.